Now let us try and understand what are the various ways we can manage our prices in the system. So far what we've been doing is, during the transactions we've been putting the prices manually. But obviously there are better ways to do this. So one of the simplest ways is we can define some default price on the item master itself. Now this is the simplest case, and it works if you don't have a complex pricing mechanism. If you have a flat pricing for the item, irrespective of to whom it is being sold or at what time it is being sold, right? However, in many cases this is not what is desired. So you might have different price lists in the system, and each price list might govern prices of different maybe category of items or type of items. So for example, you might have some premium products which are typically purchased by premium customers. In that case, you would have a high profit margin in those items and would want to manage your premium items and its pricing separately. So we can have a premium price list, and we can accordingly manage the prices of items in that price list. And we can attach this price list to the item for which we are, or to the items for which we are managing these prices, premium prices. So sometimes this is sufficient, whereas we can be more specific. So for example, in our case in Nova Cycles, we might be selling to end customers on a retail shop or showroom that we might have for this Nova Cycles, or we might be selling to business customers, which means the other retailers might be purchasing these cycles from us and selling it further. So we have B2B and B2C, and typically the prices for B2B will be different from the prices of B2C. So we can have two different price lists, and for each kind of customer we can have a different price list attached to it. So accordingly we might also have a dealer network. Now the dealers might attract a different level of price than the retailer, and similarly you can have a different price list for each level of customer that you have in your chain. So that is the third level, which means you can have a price list specifically made for that type of business partner and attached to it. Now the last thing you can do is have custom prices mentioned for a particular business partner, in this case customer. So which means that for this particular customer, for this item this is going to be the price, and for the other item this is going to be the price, and so on and so forth. So you can have 4 levels, and the system, if you have specified prices on all these 4 levels, then the system will pick the price from the most specific to the most general, which means the first thing the system will find is if there is a specific price for this business partner. If yes, then it will use that price. If it doesn't find a price, custom price for that business partner, then it will see if there is a price list attached for that business partner. If it doesn't find a price over there also, then it moves on and finds if there is a price list attached to the item master we are selling. And finally, if it doesn't find a price there also, then it uses the default price mentioned on the item master. So this is how the system fetches the price for an item while you are purchasing or selling. So let us see this practically on the system. So here we are back on the system, and what we can do is we can go to the item master and let us talk about a particular item. Let us talk about Ladies Nova 101. Now, as you can see, we have not specified a default sales price for this, and there are no price lists right now. So the simplest way is by specifying a sales price. So if we put in a sales price for this particular item and we update our item, so immediately if we go and choose this item, irrespective of the customer, if we choose this item, we'll see that the system fetches this price for sale, right? So let's get a little more specific. Now, we have seen that there are no price lists in the system right now. So what we'll do is go to inventory and make some price lists. On the prices, we'll click on price list. On this screen, all we are doing is creating new price lists. So, as we said, we might have a different price list for let's say ladies cycles, and we might have a different price list for gents cycles. So let's say ladies price list cycles, and then we might have a different price list for gents cycles, and we might yet have a different price list for kids cycles. So we make these 3 cycles, and since we are creating price list, we might also want to create a B2B price list. So let's say we have these 5 price lists that we want to manage. We have 3 retail price lists for our end customers. We have a B2B price list, and we have a components price list which can be used for B2B also and retail also. So we update this, and we have now created these price lists.